So for our final day in Vancouver, we had a little bit of a mixed up kind of day because we were taking a train about 5 o'clock in the evening. So we had a little bit of free time during the day. Maybe not enough to do a full day sightseeing, so we decided we'd spend a little time in the area where our Airbnb was. In our previous videos, you might have heard me mention Riley Park, which is where we booked. We'd originally booked for a hotel in the Gastown area, but when we looked at a few TripAdvisor and Google reviews, there were mentions of bed bugs and things, so we thought, no! And we picked an Airbnb in Riley Park. Riley Park's absolutely lovely, and we thought we'd explore a little bit. So first thing we did, we stopped off at a really cool, funky little street food, farmer's market type thing. There were people doing yoga in the park. It looked really cool. And then across the street, we saw like a proper old-fashioned baseball stadium. It looked like something out of, if you've seen the movie Bull Durham, it looked like something like that. It seemed really cool. So I kind of wanted to explore, so I thought I'd be a little bit cheeky. I wandered up to the ticket office and I asked the guys if they'd let me in, if I could buy a t-shirt and see the stadium. They were super nice, super friendly. They let me in. I bought a t-shirt and they let me go out and take pictures of the baseball diamond and everything. It was pretty cool. You'll see a few of those photos on there. It looks really nice, really bright colours and everything for the stadium. We then went to Mount Pleasant Park, which is a lovely, lovely area. You can get great views of the city. You can look and see all the mountains behind. You can see the skyline of Vancouver. Absolutely fantastic, and the park itself is very, very nice. And you'll also see there's also a nice little conservatory that's full of birds, full of exotic birds. Beautiful thing to see. The birds fly around your head. You can see them within a meter, 2 meters of your hands. It's absolutely beautiful. Probably on a day where it was 26, 27 degrees, going and standing in what was essentially a big giant greenhouse wasn't the greatest idea we've ever had, but it was a lovely little thing to see, and we had a great morning. I hope you enjoy all the footage of it. So we travelled to Seattle from Vancouver by train, which was a really cool, really funky experience. It hadn't been our original plan. We'd actually thought about whether we could drive from Calgary to Vancouver and then down to Seattle. However, the cost of a car rental coupled with gas proved just a little bit prohibitive. We also thought about taking the bus, but we read a few reviews saying that getting across the border at busy times could be tricky because you get long queues. So we opted for Amtrak's, I think they call it the Cascade service. It was a really interesting experience. I found it kind of unusual because we took our suitcases and we had to check them in like we were at the airport. When we arrived in Seattle, we had to collect them from a baggage carousel, just like on the plane. It was also unusual to be having our passports stamped and checked in the train station. which for British people is not something you see all that often. Really interesting, really cool little journey. The train goes down by the sea, and it's you're 10, 15 meters away from the water for a huge part of it. Some beautiful views and some really interesting scenery. I genuinely recommend it as a good way to travel and a good way to move between the US and Canada.